I think Alipay has already, Ali Enter Financing already told about that. We are tech thing. We are not the fintech. Fintech is still old financing. Fintech is still try to control 2080. The 2080 is a special take for China. The big banks, they serve 20% of the big companies, and they made 80% profit. For us, we want to do 80-20. We want to serve 80% of the small business, 80% of the consumers that never got a chance to reach the financing. We are happy about 20% profit. Joe, is that right? 20% is good enough to me. And also the new technology. We are moving faster on cloud computing. We are moving faster on the mobile technology. We also invest on the operating systems. And we are having a lot of, big vision that trying to be sure that Alibaba is a real high-tech company. I told the team, the real high company, Alibaba, should set a like a model is Google. People say, Robin is engineer. Pony is an engineer. Jack Ma is a teacher. Oh, is a salesman. No, I'm not a salesman. I'm an evangelist. And I want to say is that evangelists believe in the future. Engineers believe in technology. And I believe technology is for the future. I may not be a good engineer. I'm not an engineer, but I respect engineers than most of the engineers. I respect them. I listen to them. I admire them. But we communicate it better. I tell, this is something, if you do in that way, you can solve a lot of problems. If you do this way, you can solve the engineer problems. And they love that. I work very well with all the engineers. One of the examples we did is Ali Cloud Computing. Dr. Wang Jie and I working perfectly. And most of engineers hate cloud computing 80 years ago because they think this thing does not work. And I believe this thing works. And I never bargain with engineers how to make things happening. But I tell this is the direction it's supposed to be. So we're lucky. And I want to say we should build technology that is great for the future. We should have built technology that solve the problem. Alibaba is not the company that, there's some money there, so we should go there. There's opportunity there, we go there. We grow from Taobao. Why we go Alipay? Because if we do not have Alipay, we will collapse. So we do the Alipay. When we have Taobao and Alipay, we say if we do not have logistics, we will collapse, so we do logistics. So we say, now if we do not have the cloud computing, all the traffic will make us collapse. So when we do all these things, we find out we are not happy. So if we're not happy, nobody will be happy. So how can we make people happy? Then entertainment might be happy. So we do things because customer need, not because this is something that will make money. Today, the more things we do, the more human nature we understand. The more things we work, we partner with others, we know our problem, our partner's problem, our customer's problem. So we want to be the company that solves the customer's problem. So with that much opportunities in China, the 5 News, the faster growing China economy, and China is the second largest economy, might be the first largest economy in next whatever years. Do you think China should have a few companies that are the top tier of the world? So people say, Alibaba is a Chinese company. No, yeah, we are born in China, but we grow for 21st century. We grow for the world. We are born in China, but we made this company for the global. So we having a great plan for globalization. In our company, every year we will have at least 4 meetings among the 300 senior management of Alibaba. We say 2 in Chinese, 2 in English. If you cannot understand, I'm sorry, go back to learn English. So we will see more and more international people, the colleagues here. We will send all the Chinese, most of the Chinese, the colleagues go outside to support. So as the second largest economy, we think China will have companies like Walmart, Microsoft, IBM, Google, Apple, that influenced the world in the past years. In the last century, there are so many American companies that influence the world and be the number one. So we think China may have the chance to have a couple of them, and Alibaba hopefully will be the real top 10 of the world. So what will we have? We have, I think you see all the things what we have today, but we think we have people, we have culture, and the very important, the other assets we have is we have the data. If you look at the world today, I don't know which country or which company in the world that has such rich data than us have. People say, oh, you're everywhere. We are economy. You invest anywhere. You have no logic. We have a logic. You don't have a logic for economy. Because we have an economy logic. You only have to think about it. People say, you are Amazon. No, we're not Amazon. Amazon is Amazon. Alibaba is economy. We are not a Google. Of course, we have Amazon business. We have Google business. We have a physical business. We have most of business you can see because we are economy. And the economy, to support this economic growth, traditionally is the soil, water, the land, the water, and in the environment. For our virtual economy, the most important thing is data. Data is our water. And the other is network. The other is environment, the value we create for our Alibaba users. So this is the data that's why there's a conference. There are a lot of conferences in the future because Alibaba owns that much data. We know data, you have to be careful of the privacy. You have to have care for the data security. I saw one of the questions that, how many data that you have not used yet? 99.99. We have not used it yet. Because we don't know how to use these data. This is something that we did 8 years ago where we made the decision for Alibaba to become a data company. We say, we don't know how to make money out of the data. But we know in the future, no company, no country, no business can survive without data. So we have to focus on data. Today, if we cannot figure out solving the problem of privacy and security, then we should not use data. The data is just to improve our business. And how, it's like when you conserve all the oils, what do you worry about? So we never worry about it. We have more data. And we will continue to making sure the data is good for society, for the globalization, to be more inclusive, sustainable, and happy and healthy. So that's it. That's something I want to say. We have data, we have a people, and great culture. And I will say the other things, I'm happy about the most powerful organization, the governing of the company. We are partnership driven. And our partnership are so different from the investors' partners and lawyers' partners. Joe probably can share next time about our partner system. So because the partner system culture, we guarantee that our company is a vision-driven strategy. We have to be vision-driven. We have to solve problems for the world. We have to create value for the customers. We have to be happy all the time. So that's it. That's what I want to say. And hope to see you again next year. And last year we have like 200 investors. This year, we're like close to 400. We hope we can have 10,000 investors someday here. And not about data, not about the data on the screen, not about the results and forecast like Maggie said. People in the future come here. We want to share how we do the business, how we go across the date from IT to DT, how we survive, what the experience. We want to be the company that can share experience with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack.
Good afternoon. Well, after almost 2 days reports, let's talk about something big. Let's talk some big numbers, right? I think you get tired of all these detail today, what we'll be doing in this. Because when I talk about the future, when I talk about the big numbers, everybody's scared in the company. They say, no more big numbers. But I've been keeping on doing for 18 years, and I think the day, as long as I'm alive, I'm always talking about the future. In the past 5 years, I tried to learn to be a chairman. And I think as a chairman of the company, I promised Daniel and Joe that I will focus on 3 issues. First, I tried making sure that this company is a vision-driven strategy company. It's a vision-driven company. I hate that Alibaba IPO and every day we worry about next quarter, the quarter after next. And this is no good. I hate about that. I'm happy to be on the board, joined some board many years ago. Some big multinational companies are joined there. And when they make decisions, they worry about making decisions for the future. Everybody only care for next quarter. And they buy company, merge company just for next quarter. So I hate that. So I say, the day when we IPO'd, we have to be making sure that this company in next 84 years should always be a vision-driven company. And the second is, as a chairman, I should making sure the company should have a healthy culture and great people. So this is the second job as a chairman I should have. And the third, before I retire as a chairman, I retired as the CEO 5 years ago. Before I retired as the chairman of the CEO, I tried my best to build a healthy ecosystem for this company to survive. So these are the 3 jobs that I took as the chairman, and I learned how to do that job better. And when I talked to the investors, I said that Joe was scared, and all the team, financial team say scared. Because I said, I'm not scared. I remember that 18 years ago, Joe and I went to Silicon Valley. We talked to over 30 venture capitalists. We said we want to be one of the top internet companies in the world. And the VCs, all the venture capitalists were scared. They all said, no, forget about it. So we did not raise any money. The first trip Joe and I went. And since then, I did not write any business plan. And then, well, it was brave. At that time, Alibaba.com ranking like a couple of 100 million names behind. So we want to be top 10 sites. Everybody thought we were crazy. The second time I remember, 15 years, it's like year 2003, when we just break even. We started to compete with eBay. Joe and I went to Los Angeles. And I talked to many big PEs. And when I talk about we will move to C2C, we will go to the consumer market, we'll compete with eBay. The investors at that time were also scared. No, you have no chance to win eBay because C2C market in China has no chance. eBay already taken 90% of the market share. And 3 years ago, when we listed in New York, and I said we will raise a little bit of money, $20 billion, people thought it was a joke. But now, I think we need more money for the future. And I think compared to the future, Alibaba is still a baby. If you say in the past 18 years, we were amazed, I think we were amazing. We were so lucky. We're one of the luckiest company in the world. We are in a wonderful industry, internet, and we are in a wonderful country like China. We got so many supports from our colleagues and great team and all the things. So we're lucky. But this company the vision is to last 102 years. So we have another 84 years to go. And people say, wow, 102 years is a great number. But we take it really seriously. As me, founder and chairman, I really take this thing very seriously. So every plan, every year on the strategy meeting, we review what we're going to do next 10 years. What the 10 years. Every project, every big investment we do, we think about 10 years later. We think about 5 years later. So we have a 3-year plan, 5-year plan, and 10 years plan. Almost every year we review. So without that, if you talk about 102 years, but never care about 5-year plan or 10-year plan, you really do not believe what you're talking about. And I want to tell all the investors, we are very serious about a 102-year vision that we have another 84 years to go. So compared to the future, our market cap, of course, I think I'm happy about that, but don't compare to the others. If you compare to Amazon, I'm not happy about that. But if you compare to the future, we are still a small company, a very young company. At 18 years old, we are growing to that size, but we're still a baby thinking inside. So what we want to do in the future, we want to be the 21st century, a globalized company. And I would say the first technology revolution had a business model called a factory. The second technology revolution there's a business model called company. So what will be the data time, the internet time in the 21st century? What would be the best business model for this century? We think about is something called like a platform business. So we are lucky 15 years ago, we start to move our company from a normal, like a website, to a platform-like. And I think the other thing is that whether you're a big company or a great company, not depends on what kind of opportunity you catch. Most of the companies in China, they're always waiting for opportunity. If there's a good opportunity to catch it, they become a good company. When they miss some opportunities, they're gone. In China, a couple of years ago, there was a very popular saying that 如果你碰上了风口，是的猪也会飞起来, right? If you're a pig, right? Even if you're lucky, happen to be on on the wing, some drill you will fly. A pig will fly, but if the wing goes, the pig will die. So I think that it's not about what kind of opportunities you grasp. It's about what kind of value you create for the future. What kind of problems you solve for the world. The big problem you solve for the world, the big company will be. The great problem you solve for the world, the great company you will be. So Alibaba think about one thing, that what kind of problems we can solve for the world in next 10, 20 years. If we can figure out the problem in 10, 20 years, what are the problems? Then we start to prepare now. Then we'll be big. So we think we are a company in Hangzhou. We're not a company in New York. We're not a company in Silicon Valley. We're not a company in Beijing, Shanghai. We're a company in Hangzhou. As a Hangzhou company, the way we compete with the others is that how we judge for the future. That's the competition we have. So we believe the future will like this, and we spend all the resources going that. And we believe this will be the world problem. If we can solve that problem, we'll be great. That's the way we think about how we lead our future. So today, e-commerce, cloud computing, and whatever business we have, all designed it but 10 years ago, 15 years ago. So people say, you're great today. No, I think we're not great today. We were great 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we believed this thing will happen. 15 years ago, we believed this thing will happen. 8 years ago, we believed cloud computing, big data will come. So we start to make decisions 8, 15, and 10 years ago. And then we put all the resources, all the talents, everything just to focus on. So I said to many the entrepreneurs, if there are 9 rabbits on the ground, if you want to catch one rabbit, you should not change the rabbit. You should change yourself. Just stick to one rabbit. That's the way to do it. So we had our vision 10, 15 years ago. We know this is where we want to go, and we do anything, change ourselves to be sure that we catch that rabbit. So we think globalization, anti-globalization, anti-trade, and trade protection is a problem. It's going to be a big problem in the future. So how we can help globalize? We think globalization is a great thing. And how, but it's only like 20, 30 years. In the past 20, 30 years, globalization helped a lot of developed countries, helped a lot of big companies. So in the past 30 years, globalization, global trade was controlled by 60,000 big companies, and which make rich company richer, big company bigger, and small companies, small countries, SMEs, all in trouble. And the young people didn't have a chance. So we think about, if we can make globalization, international trade, cross-border trade more inclusive, making sure every small business has the chance, making sure every young people has the chance, that we can solve a lot of problems. People worry about the jobs because the new technology will take away a lot of jobs. But we think if we can make globalization more inclusive, then we can create more jobs. If a small business, you can only sell your products to your neighbors in your county. What if you can sell products across the ocean, across the country to the others? That might be a great solution for the job creation and a great solution for today's problems. So that is why we've been focused, we believe that we can do something for globalized trade, for globalization. We were helping not 60,000 big companies. We can help 6 million or 60 million small business that they can sell and buy cross-border. This is what we want to do. And the second thing is that the world economy has never been sustainable. How can we make our technology to enable the global trade, global business to be more sustainable? And meanwhile, how we can make business people and people of the next generation happy and healthier. So these are the 3 values, 3 problems that we want to solve. The world is not globalization, people don't like it, but we think we should make it inclusive. We should make global business more sustainable. We should make the people in the future are more happy and healthier. So these are 3 problems, and these are 3 values we want to create. So in this way, that we definitely want to be a company that can help globalization. So e-commerce will be the best solution. And if you want to do e-commerce, you definitely have a good technology, good people with good vision. 5 years ago, when when the Taobao Tmall GMV just crossed 170 billion US dollars GMV, which is 1 trillion RMB, I had a crazy idea. I say, what if we can make a 1 trillion US dollars by the 20-year anniversary of Alibaba? That is year 2019, because we were born in 1999. So we said year 2019, today we call year 2020 fiscal year, right? We should meet the 1 trillion US dollars. Everybody will say, yes, why not? But I hate the exchange rate. We never put that in the account. So at that time, it's like, $1 is like 6 RMB, but now like $1 close to 7. So we need to we have 1 trillion RMB gap, which is not easy. But I'm happy about Daniel said, target is a target, KPI is a KPI. Let's do it. if we do in a normal way, we will never meet it. So the next 3 years, our small target is go cross $1 trillion US. $1 trillion US, nobody, no company in the whole world in the last 100 years, people can imagine any company can do it. We have to do in a very innovative way. We have to make it happen. But if we cannot make it happen, we'll be in trouble. The trouble is that we got a big goal that is in year 2036, we will be a company that can serve 2 billion populations, 2 billion consumers. We want to be a company that can create 100 million jobs for the world. We want to be a company that can support 10 million profitable business on the Alibaba platform. So what is that? If a company can serve 2 billion consumers, that is 1/3 of the total population of the world. If the company can create 100 million jobs, this is probably bigger than any government, most of government can do. And if your company can support 10 million profitable business on its platform, this is called economy. Today, Alibaba's GMV, it's just commerce rise. Alibaba GMV is ranking 22nd economy of the world. We are just behind Argentina, right? But I think when we cross $1 trillion US, we are sort of ranking 17 or 16. But in year 2036, if we can make a 2 billion and 100 million and 10 million, we will be ranking number 5 economy of the world. What does number 5 mean? Number 1, I don't know, China or USA. If just say USA, China, Europe, maybe Japan, and us. Well, people say this is too big. It costs nothing to imagine, right? If you even do not dare to vision it, if you do not think about it. So 18 years ago, when 18 people in my apartment, we all together less than $50,000 US, we start to think that one day we will be the top 10 website of the world. We were brave at that time. Today, we have 55,000 people. We have a lot of money. We have a lot of talents, technology, data. We have a lot of users, or we have 500 million people already using our services. Why not think about it big? Of course, we do not own that economy. The 5th largest economy, we envision, we believe if Alibaba cannot do it, the other people will do it. So if we can work with other people, make this global new economy, it's based on internet. Using this economy, we were helping global buy, global sell, global pay, global logistic, and global travel. Today, many cities in China, you don't need to do anything. Just a mobile phone, you can travel all around the world. We believe in a couple of years, when you have a passport and mobile phone, you can travel all around the world. And 5 years later, you don't need a passport maybe. Just a mobile phone or just your face recognition travel around the world based on your data. So this thing could happen. We have to open our mind and think about it. So this is what we want to do, that we will globalize the business. We will make globalization more inclusive. We will make everybody, if you have a mobile phone, at that time, whether it's a mobile phone or not, if you have a gadget like a mobile phone, you can global buy anything you want. Because we hope, as a 10-year CEO must have told you, that in next 80 years, because this goal was put 2 years ago, anywhere in China you want you want the bio